Hyundai is committed to 100% all EV platforms down the road, and this is the first big jump. There's been other electric vehicles or EVs that Hyundai has offered, but this is the 2022 Hyundai Ioniq 5. I'm Lauren Fix, and this is Car Coach Reports, and I'm going to take this for a test drive and have you join us. And it's not just a drive. We're going to show you some details, some of the coolest things this vehicle has, and why it is better than a Tesla Model Y. Now, it does compete directly with the Mach-E, as well as the Volkswagen ID.4, and many other vehicles that are in this category, including its sister. They don't like to call it that, but I do, the Kia EV6. So there are some similarities between those two vehicles, but when you're comparing the Model Y with a Hyundai, there are some pluses and some minuses, and you need to know about that before you make a decision on an electric vehicle. Let's start off with this all-electric EV platform. Now, the Ioniq 5 has won 3 World Car Awards. I don't think that's ever been done before. That's World Car of the Year, the Design, and the Electric Vehicle of the Year. And as a World Car juror, that was pretty impressive. There were a lot of other high competitors, and this one really took the cake, and I'll show you why. Starting off with this really cool front end, and they've integrated the safety features and the cameras right into that front end piece of glass here, and they've done that specifically so that it doesn't stand out. You have your Hyundai logo. Pretty easy to decide this is a Hyundai. Now further down, you're going to see this matte silver to keep the vehicle looking clean. And notice these headlights. They're rectangular. You'll notice that also in the taillights. They sort of remind me of an early Pong game, a little bit of throwback, but they really did a nice job making this look quite unique and offering a lot more than they offer in their other vehicles. And there are 5 really unique features about this car I want to show you along the way that you will not see in other vehicles. Notice that the front end goes completely solid when the headlights are not on. I think that makes it a very unique vehicle. And what this vehicle has that the Tesla doesn't have is the Tesla looks like a drone. It has no face to it. And if you look at any vehicle, you've got the headlights as the eyes. There is a front grille that sort of makes a smile. And that is something that people are used to seeing. And when there is nothing there, it just feels like something's missing. All of the Hyundai Ioniq 5s ride on this very cool 20-inch alloy wheel. It is lightweight. Everything about electric vehicles means you need to lightweight the other components. Low rolling resistant tires, and of course run flats. Anything you can do to make this vehicle lighter means you use less energy to propel it, and they did a really nice job with these cool wheels. One of the neat design details is you'll notice this forward moving turbine that runs all the way around the wheel arches. Very cool little design cue. One of the unique details that is on the Hyundai Ioniq is these hidden door handles. I know this is not unique. They have it on Land Rover, they have it on Tesla, but it looks pretty cool. Another unique design detail of this lower fins that are down on the sill area. Really nice and clean. It's all about airflow and making this vehicle nice and slippery through the air. And I really think they did a nice job making it look like a car, but then also making it look very special. When you come around to the back, this upper airfoil actually has openings so you get airflow, again, about making the car really slippery. Third brake light is integrated into here. You hit the unlock buttons and you can see those brake lights. Aren't they cool? They remind me of like a dated 80s video game, if you remember those Ataris, and that was all part of the fun. Hyundai logo, Ioniq here in white, really nice Ioniq 5. By the way, there's an Ioniq 6 coming out soon. We'll be showing you that, as well as an Ioniq 7. And these are vehicles that you'll be looking at that'll be larger and also car-based. So the 7 will be an SUV, the 6 will be a car. We'll be getting that to you very soon, so you want to check that out on our channel. Also notice that you've got the marker lights here, and this gives you that effect as if you've got an exhaust system back here. But you don't, and it's really nice and clean. Our test vehicle is an H-Track, which means it's all-wheel drive, but this is also available in rear-wheel drive, and we'll discuss it when we talk about what propels this vehicle, which I usually call under the hood. In this case, it's underneath the car. When it comes to visibility and seating for this vehicle, the visibility is fantastic with this surround view camera that allows you to move the camera around crystal clear. Just because it is a backup camera doesn't mean it's crystal clear. Now, looking out the back, you've got your same limitations you would have in most SUVs. You have narrow front A pillars, a little wider B pillars, and then going back to the back, you've got that little bit wider C pillar. However, having these around view cameras makes a huge difference so that you don't run over anything. Now, as far as seating, love these seats. This is vegan leather. It's all recycled. There is lumbar on both sides. Yes, I knew you'd ask about that. So I do have that. This driver's seat also goes fully flat, which is one of the things that none of the competition has, and a major plus for this car. The second row has a ton of space because there is no driveline, there's no hump in the middle, but in addition, this vehicle is designed in a way with this platform that everything is pushed to the outside, so you have the maximum amount of space, not just for knee room, but also for headroom. In addition, this seat reclines and moves back and forth. You can get child safety seats in here and make yourself really comfortable. Now, I'm really liking this recycled material that's back here, really pretty. You've got a net behind each seat, 2 USB ports here, storage in addition. This back seat will fit 2 child safety seats, 1 regular seat belt in the middle, and there's a built-in cup holder. Remember, this is a 60-40 split rear seat. In addition, you also have these sunshades, which are manual, and right now we have the sunroof closed because it's 90 degrees outside, but you can open that up. It is really nice to get some bright light inside, but it is a fixed roof. In front of you, you got 2 12-inch fully adjustable infotainment and gauge screens. I love that they did this, and note there's no hood over the top. Typically there's a hood for glare. They've bypassed that. And all this information changes when you go to different drive modes, whether you're in the sport mode, whether you're in the eco mode, the normal mode. They did a nice job making it really, really cool. Also note on the left side over here, this is magnetic. Think of it like a bulletin board. You can put something like a magnet or some information or a note or directions or a phone number. You can put that right there. Kind of neat. Never seen that before either. Another never seen before when it comes to Hyundai and the Ioniq. The steering wheel is really cool. I like it, very clean, lots of gloss black, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but you kind of have to do something unique. This is the paddle shifters. We'll talk about the plus and the minus for the 1 pedal drive right here when we go to the drive portion of this, so you want to stay for that. Note these 4 dots. This is part of their new logo and new design. Really cool. Flat bottom steering wheel as well. I do like that. And they made a nice steering wheel with some grip. I think that's important. On the left side, you've got some gauges here and some ventilation, really easy. 2 memory seat settings, and everything is nice aluminum, really nicely done. Head-up display is also on this vehicle, on our test vehicle. As far as the audio system is concerned, this is a Bose premium audio system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, of course, BlueLink infotainment and maps. And of course, you can download whatever you want, pick your stations. There's your maps, really nice and crystal clear. Navigation setup. If you've driven a Hyundai or a Kia before, this will not feel unusual to you in any way, shape, or form. Be forewarned. One thing that's important to note, that there is AM radio in an electric vehicle. Well, in the past you couldn't get it, but in this vehicle you can. And by the way, I'm on AM 930 every Friday morning, talking about cars. That's out of Buffalo, or you can listen to it on the Audacity app. And see, go down further here. This is what you would expect as far as when it comes to Hyundai. Super easy to use, nothing complicated. Further down, you've got a USB and a 12-volt outlet, as well as more storage, because you can't have enough. You have your 2 cup holders in the middle, and this quite unique floating console also has 2 USB chargers. Wireless charging, a spot for your stuff, as I've got my stuff here. Plenty of storage also in the doors and in the glove box. This is your center console, very nice. Underneath, more storage for your stuff. They've really thought about some normal things. And then up above, you've got your BlueLink, and when you press this button, this gigantic sunroof opens. It is solid, it does not move. There's also heated and ventilated seats. So if you go through the home button, you'll see that there's a lot of your usual Hyundai features you're used to, a valet mode, and of course setting up your media, your user's manual, and nothing that's unusual, including that what's nice is this EV mode. So it tells you about where the closest charger is, and of course your next departure time and your distance until empty. Much like that of a gas station nearby. And again, here's your navigation on the right. This can be changed as well for your time, your location. Everything can be here as you need it. Oh, the temperature cooled off. That's a good thing. One of the best things about the safety and the Hyundai product line is when you put on your left turn signal, you actually have a camera there. And the same thing is true for the right. And this makes it very safe on the roadway. Big, huge difference, and something that no other manufacturer has. It's just Hyundai and Kia. When it comes to your safety features, there's a lot of different information from your smart cruise control. A lot of this is standard in the Hyundai Safety Suite. If you've owned a Hyundai product before, you'll be extremely comfortable with this. And if you touch each button, it tells you how you want it set up and what it does. This got started from Ford in the Mach-E, and now everyone's doing it. So you can have lane safety, you can set up your blind spot detection, your parking safety. All of this is available to you. And I think this is important because everybody wants to set up the way they want, and they've done a fabulous job with Hyundai and their safety features, the fact that it's standard, and as you buy the higher trim levels, you get all the goodies that you want. When it comes to performance, there are two different options. Battery and charge time on the ultra-fast 800-volt multi-charging is 10 to 80% in 18 minutes. There's also a vehicle to load or V2L function that can power small appliances and devices even as you charge the EV. The front trunk is quite minimal. This is a simple latch, and underneath this is an area for very small items or your charging cables or an emergency kit. The Ioniq5 is powered by a dual motor all-wheel drive H-Track electric motor that has 220 miles of range, which is a 77.4 kilowatt battery pack on two electric motors, which equals 320 horsepower and 446 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you figure that out in MPGe, you're looking at a combined 90 miles to the gallon. Also note that the rear-wheel drive, which is a single motor, has 303 miles of range, has 225 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, and a combined fuel economy of 114 mpge. Remember that all Hyundai products have a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and the battery also has a long warranty as well. So there's no charging stations here, but allows you to do that as an option, or you can just go back to your backup camera mixed with that, or you can go back to home if you wish. Change the shifter here to drive. Nice tight turning radius. And we're going to take this thing out for a spin. I've been driving it all week, and I've driven this before. We did a first drive with Paul Bryan and myself when they first came out. So as far as the drive experience, the first thing you're going to notice is there really isn't a difference in feel other than it's really quiet. I think a lot of people aren't used to that. You drive an electric vehicle, you're like, you don't hear anything. So there is a little teeny hum that comes off this vehicle. Some vehicles allow you to adjust whatever noise it is that it makes. Some have customizable, like Tesla. The Ioniq has its own little tone, just so people around you know, especially if you're walking or riding a bike, you can hear it coming. Or backing up, it makes a noise just for safety. So as far as the handling, it's got excellent connection with the roadway. You can feel the steering wheel. As far as it doesn't feel like it's computerized or controlled by some sort of wire, although it is, it actually has really nice connectivity to the roads, and the brakes are excellent. They're designed for this heavy vehicle. Remember, all the EVs are heavier, which means the tires wear out a little quicker. So it's important that you check your tire pressure once a month, because replacing these tires is not going to be low cost. Nice tight turning radius, which I think is really important getting into those tight spots, those garages, whatever it might be. 0 to 60 is 4.7 seconds. The Tesla Model Y is 4.8. This is in the normal mode. Gets up there pretty darn quick. Now we're going to stop here, and we're going to go to the sport mode, and you'll see how fast this goes. Switching to sport mode, 0 to 60. Woo! Shoves you back into the seat, 4.7 seconds. Man, you get up there snap quick. Do you need it to be that fast? No, but it's kind of fun. It's sort of like Tesla, Mach-E, Volkswagen, and the ID4. They all have this super fast sport mode, and then a normal mode, which you're going to use all the time, and an eco mode, which is also an option. So as far as acceleration, excellent. How could you expect anything less? But you have to remember that for the most part, we're not going to be driving in sport mode. Let's drop it down to the eco mode and feel the difference. It then changes it to a more fuel efficient mode. And then if you really want to save the battery, you can use these paddle shifters, because they're not actually paddle shifters, they're regenerative brake. So as you hit the plus button and you go all the way down, it turns into that one pedal drive, like a golf cart. And if you hit the plus button on the left, it takes off of one pedal drive and it still is regenerative brakes. So you're going to save as much battery power as possible, because you can do all those launches all day long. When you run out of juice, it's not as easy as filling up a gas tank. It does take a little bit of time, 20 minutes to go to 80%. Of course, you do get free charging through Electrify America, and that's something also that you need to keep in mind. This vehicle is just really easy to drive, and it's super quiet if you like a quiet vehicle. And they've really done a nice job of putting this package together where you not just get a quiet riding vehicle, you get an easy handling vehicle, and a vehicle that you could drive every single day. Handling is really nice, and you can make aggressive maneuvers and the vehicle responds instantly. So you're not giving up anything when it comes to handling. You've got a heavy vehicle with a low center of gravity, and what that means is that you're going to get better handling experience than you might on a vehicle of similar size that is a lighter weight. It's all about displacing the weight in certain areas to get the best handling vehicle. So we're going to go to that one pedal drive, get that experience. You get a little ding, a notification here on the dash saying that one pedal or I pedal is now engaged. And we'll see if we can save a little bit of battery juice here, because we want to be able to drive the whole day and not have to charge in the middle of the day. The one pedal drive is a weird experience until you get used to it. Either on the gas or off the gas. There is no brakes. If you want to go back to that normal driving style, just hit that paddle shifter on the right side, which is the plus. I pedal is then off. You're still getting the regen. You can press the paddle shifter on the right and that'll take away the regen, but what it's also going to do is use up your battery quicker. If you can use the regen, it's certainly a way to save on the battery as much as possible. There's a lot of safety features that you can use on this vehicle. Lane centering. It's not autonomous driving, but it gives you that feeling. But don't let anyone convince you that autopilot is self-driving, because there's no such thing. It's not available. We're at level 3 of 5 different levels, and that is the maximum that you can get. People want instant reaction when it comes to changing the different drive modes, and you do get that. You've got the eco mode, it's more laid back, the normal mode, which you're going to drive the most in, and the sport mode, which again, you're not really going to drive this vehicle that aggressively. Someone commented on the GV60, you need to drive it more aggressively. People aren't driving these vehicles aggressively. They're driving them on the street, and when I test drive the vehicles, I try to drive them the way you're going to drive them as an everyday vehicle. If I was going to put it on a racetrack, that wouldn't make sense to you, because you're probably not putting one of these on a racetrack. Not that you couldn't, it would just not be something that the average person is going to do, or let's put it this way, 99.9% of people will not put this on a track. Do love this blind spot camera. Best on the market, turning those gauges into blind spot cameras that show you what's going on, where your wheel is located. I am shocked that no one else has picked up on this. They used to have Honda Lane Watch and they stopped doing that, but now you get this in all of the Hyundais and the Kias. Very smart. One of the coolest features available on the Ioniq 5 is a smart park, which is available on other Hyundai products as well. Take the key fob, start it up, and you can park it in or out depending upon which way you want to go. It'll let you know. It makes noises. And it's smart. It can get you out of those tight parking spots. Just hold the button down as far as you want it to go. Notice the wheel turn. It will then move forward as much as necessary. When you lift up on the remote, it stops. Let's have it move forward. This is for getting out of those tight parking spots, or it is a cool trick to show your friends. When you're looking at the cargo space with the second row up, you're at 27.2 cubic feet of storage. Fold down those 60/40 split seats and you're at 59.3 cubic feet. I will tell you that is less than that of a Mach-E and of a Model Y, but you have to decide, do you want the performance, do you want the cargo, do you want the technology? So there's a lot of pluses and minuses, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Underneath this cover is a tire mobility kit on the right, and on the left we have our charging cords, which not every vehicle is including a charge port, so it's important that you get that cable with it. It may be an option, but you certainly don't want to go places without that, because there are times you'll have to plug into a wall outlet. You probably don't want to do that. You want to find an Electrify America outlet because that's included with the price. I'm sure you're wondering about the price. This vehicle starts at $39,900, which is $40,000, and goes up to $55,000 based on your trim level. Each trim level gives you more accessories, more features, more goodies, and of course that gives you also all-wheel drive. There is a $7,500 tax credit that is available on Hyundai. It's also important when you're looking at the price of this vehicle to you, check your insurance agent. The insurance is going to be higher on electric vehicles because of the cost to repair them versus that of combustion engines, so that's a factor that you need to consider in your budget. There are some pros and cons to the Ioniq 5. First off, on the pros side, dual motors for all-wheel drive is excellent. The interface is fantastic and crystal clear and completely customizable, which I think is really made this vehicle stand out in the crowd, which is why it's won so many awards. And on the negative side, I have to say that the front, both front and rear, the front trunk and the rear trunk, have limited space compared to their competitors. And in addition, you can't get this in every single state. You can get it in the ZEV states as well as some other states. You can always buy it out of state and bring it back to your state. Your dealer can handle all of the service on that. Remember that the Ioniq 5 competes directly with the EV6, its sister company, the Mach-E, the ID.4, and of course the Tesla Model Y. Now, is this vehicle better than a Tesla Model Y? I think it is for a multitude of reasons. Tons of safety features, including its smart park, which I know that Tesla has something similar, but the technology on this is certainly more refined, functions as it's told, and there is a dealer network all around the country. So if you have a problem, you can get a service vehicle and you can get this thing fixed if you need to, and including the charging, which is exactly what Tesla has. I think that Hyundai has done a fabulous job on this car. Now, we have done a first drive of this vehicle with Paul Bryan. Don't forget to check that out. We've driven all the competitors on our channel. There's a link down below in the description to our website, our podcast, our social media, and of course we want to hear your comments. If you got value from this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's open up that conversation down below. I bought an Ioniq 5, I love it. I didn't, I bought something else. Or if you think I'm wrong and you think the Tesla's a better car, well, there are those people that will not listen to anyone else and they think Tesla's got it. But I think their build quality is pretty horrific in comparison to what Hyundai is offering, which I think is fantastic. So I suggest you take one for a drive before you sign on the bottom line for any vehicle. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your time. We'll see you next time.